If you're not making any sales on your Shopify store, then one of the reasons for this could be that, quite frankly, your Shopify store design sucks. Now, trust me, it's okay. I completely get it. I've never been very good at designing either. This was a skill that I had to pick up along the way. Now, this is something that you're going to build up on, but today's video is going to show you pretty much all of the basics on what you need to know on how to get your Shopify store design to actually be converting, to build trust in your customer, so that way they feel confident spending money in your store. All right, so let's just go ahead and jump straight into it. Let's not waste any time. Now for this, I am gonna assume that you already have a Shopify store set up. You already have your account created and you're ready to start designing. So the first thing that we're gonna do is, of course, log into our Shopify account, and then we're gonna run over to our online store. Now under here, we're gonna go ahead and click on themes, and then this is the page that you're gonna get. Now, if you do wanna see what your Shopify store looks like, then you can simply just click on view your online store. And then you're gonna see this, which is pretty much gonna be your default layout. And of course, it's plain, there's nothing on here. It's just a generic template. Now, right off the bat, the first thing that I'm gonna tell you is that there's tons of different templates or themes that you can start off with. The best part is that a lot of them are actually free. Now, there are gonna be a few others that start off at about maybe $50 and can go anywhere up to $300 or $400. But the good news is that you do not need these at all. You can go ahead and get started and even scale your business with any of the free themes, and you'll be perfectly fine. So the first thing we need to do is choose which theme we're gonna go with. Now, typically speaking, the most popular ones are gonna be the Dawn theme as well as the Refresh theme. Now, my personal favorite, I do like the Dawn theme, but I have used the Refresh one as well. But if you wanna check out a few of the different ones and a few of the different options to see which one you like best, all you have to do is simply just go ahead and click into one of them. So let's do the craft one. And then you're gonna have two options. You're gonna have the Try theme and the View Demo store. Now, I say just go for the demo store and you'll see what your store could potentially look like. So this is an example store, and as you can tell, it's actually very neat. It's very clean and it looks pretty good. I would feel confident purchasing from this store if it was a real store, of course. But if you look at everything, you can see that the structure is very well made. It's very clean. There's not too much text. The images are pretty well placed. I feel like there's a lot of images, but that's okay because all of this over here is actually taking you to different collections. But besides that, everything it's very nice. It's very clean, very straightforward, and very elegant. Now, let's say you do want to go with the craft theme and you want to install it into your store, and that's the template that you want to customize. Doing this is very easy. All you have to do is run back over to your themes page, and then under the theme that you want to choose, the one that you want to go with, just go ahead and click on add, and then it's going to go ahead and install it. And then once it's done, all you have to do is go ahead and click on publish, and that's the theme that's going to go live on your store. Now, if you want to customize it beforehand, which of course I highly suggest that you do, then just click on customize. Now for this, we're just simply going to stick to the Dawn theme because this is one of the most popular ones. So let's just go ahead and choose the one that we already have selected and go ahead and customize this one. So once we do that, we're going to go ahead and enter the editor. And this is very, very straightforward and very easy to use. The best part is that most of this is pretty much just click, drag, and drop. And that's it. So let's go over a few of the things that we see on our screen first. So first off, on the left-hand side, we're gonna have our sections. And this is essentially gonna be everything that we see on our screen or on our page. Now, everything that you see here, the way that it's structured, so you have the image banner first, and then the featured collection, and then your footer. This is all aligned with your page. So as you can see here, the image banner is first. Second, we have our featured collections, and then we have our footer. Now, what is a footer? Well, a footer is going to be the opposite of a header. So let's start with that. So the header is going to be this up here. It's going to be literally the very top of your page, while the footer is going to be the very bottom of your page. Everything in the middle is essentially going to be just your body. Now, on your header, for the most part, what you're going to have is going to be your links, your navigation bar, and your menu. And then also this up here, which is your announcement bar. The announcement bar is going to tell your customers any current promotions that you have, or really just anything that you want them to know. For the most part, this is going to be where you do put your promotions though. So let's say if you have free shipping, you can put there free shipping on all orders over $200, or free shipping when you use the code free shipping, or whatever it is that you want it to be. The banner really is just going to be an announcement from you to your customers whenever they land on your homepage, or really any part of your store. Now, your footer all the way at the bottom, this for the most part is going to have all of your different social media sections. It's going to have a lot of the different badges. So like if you take Visa and MasterCard, it's going to appear there. And it's also going to have a lot of different links to certain pages. So it's going to have something for your About Us page, your policy page, your different social media handles, and all that stuff. So when it comes time to customizing your actual store and your page, this is what you're going to be doing. Now, under here where it says template, this is where you're going to have the sections for the body of your store. We can go ahead and click on one of them. Let's say if we want to take the image banner and put it under the featured collections, we can go ahead and click it and just drag it under. So as you can see, it is now reflected on our page. That's the beauty of Shopify. Everything is done real time. And again, it's click, drag, and drop. Super easy. Now this typically isn't how we want our store to be. We are going to want to have our image banner on the very top because that's going to be a pretty welcoming sight to your customers. So you always want to make sure that you have it at the top, if you even have it at all, but I suggest that you do. And I also suggest that you have some good and high quality images. So let's go ahead and put that back and let's go ahead and change this. So I'm going to click into my banner, and then over here where it says first and second image, I can go ahead and select 1 or 2 images. If I select 1, it's going to take up the entire banner. If I select 2, it's going to be half and half. Now, some people like this. I personally don't like it that much. I prefer a carousel. So let's go ahead and change it. Now for this, what I'm going to do is click on over here where it says add section, and I'm going to look for it over here. So I'm going to look for not an image banner because that's what we already have. I'm going to look for a slideshow. So a slideshow and a carousel really are the same thing. It's really just going to be a banner that can switch between different pictures or different videos. So let's go ahead and choose that one. Let's do the slideshow. And now it's all the way at the bottom. So I want to go ahead and take it to the top. Let's go ahead and drag and drop. And then our image banner, let's go ahead and get rid of this one. Now to get rid of it or to delete it, all we have to do is click on this little trash icon over here, or we can click on the actual banner or any section of our body. And then we can also click the remove icon here as well. And it's gone. Now, if you don't want to delete it, if you just want to see what it looks like without it, you can also hide it. And when you hide it, you're pretty much doing the same thing. So over here, you can see this little eye right here. Click on it and it turns it off. It toggles the visibility. Click on it again, toggles it back on. Now, when we want to add our images, I'm going to go ahead and add 2 different images. Now, I've been thinking about what I want to do with this, and I want to do something of a punk rock store. I really like punk rock. I don't know if you've noticed, I have a couple of Linkin Park CDs right there. I have their new one, and I have a Funko. I love Linkin Park. I can't wait to see them live. Now, if you also like Linkin Park, make sure you leave a like and let me know down in the comments below. So I'm going to be adding a punk rock store. Of course, I'm going to be getting rid of all of these different products as well. So let's look for a few images that can portray this. Now, the first thing that we can do to look for pictures is simply going to be to go to Pexels. Now, Pexels is a completely free and royalty-free source for images, meaning you can use any of the images that you see on here and you don't have to attribute any author. You don't have to pay anything for them. They're completely free to use for both business and personal use. So under photos, let's go ahead and look for punk rock. Now, some of these look pretty cool. Let's see which one I think would align with what I want to do. Maybe this one right here. I would go for the cassettes, but everything here is copyright. The Doors, Grateful Dead, NWA, Nazareth. So I don't feel comfortable using this. So let's look for a few more. I like this one too. And I really like this one right here. So we have 3 different images to choose from. Now we can go with this one. Kind of reminds me of The Offspring. I think I'm going to go with this one. I think this is the best one. So I'm going to go ahead and free download. And that's going to be for our first image. Now for our second image, we're going to use the Shopify library. Let's see if we can find something good there. So let's click on our slideshow. And then up here under image, we're going to go ahead and select image. I'm going to add the one that I just downloaded. Now I'm going to select it and then click on done. And then there's the first one. Looks pretty good. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the second one by simply switching over to the second slideshow right there, the second image. And then I'm going to explore free images. So now what can we look for here? Let's say music. All right, so some of these actually look pretty good already. And I think I'm going to go with this one. That looks good. So then we're going to click on select on the bottom right. And then we're going to click on save. Now we want to make sure that we see what's going on, because if we just see it this way, it looks kind of weird, doesn't it? So let's click on our slideshow really fast. And then over here on the right hand side, we can go ahead and change the placement of this little middle section. Now there's a few different things that we can do. If you see here, it says show container on desktop. That's going to be this white box. So if we take that off, it's going to completely remove it. And I think this looks way better. Now, besides that, let's go ahead and see if we can move it to the side. So for this, what we're going to do is where it says desktop content position, we can go ahead and click on that and do middle right. So it's going to be on the right hand side. Kind of like it. Now, I think the bottom center is probably the one that looks the best. But what we are going to have to do a little bit later on is going to be to simply change our font colors, because this, you can't really see it. And if it doesn't work or if it doesn't look good still, then we can simply just add back our container and then just keep it at that. But for now, let's go ahead and remove it. And for now, it looks all right. Now, let's go ahead and change the colors of the theme, because this white, it's not working. Now, I do know a few colors that go together for the type of theme that I'm going for or for the niche that I'm going for. But if you don't know what colors match, then trust me, you're not alone. I actually had to Google this at one point, but what you can do is look up a color palette generator. Now there's going to be a lot of different ones to choose from, but the very first one is going to be Canva, and this should be more than enough. Now here we can go ahead and choose any one of these different color patterns down here, or these color palettes, and whatever colors you choose from here, they're going to work together. Everything's going to look good together because these colors are meant to complement each other. Now you can go ahead and explore different ones, and you can also type in a theme or a keyword. So let's say music. You can see music in me, music sheet gamble. Actually, this looks pretty good. This actually does look very nice. So I did have one planned, but I might check this one out. Now I like to keep my themes simple. I don't like to have too many colors everywhere because it's pretty distracting. And again, depending on what you're going for, you want to either keep it simple, you want to maybe add a few more pops of color. But for what I'm doing, it's going to be pretty straight to the point. So let's run back over to our Shopify store. And from here, what I'm going to do is click on theme settings. Now I can change the colors, I can change my logo, and I can change anything that I want. But for now, I'm going to go with colors. And then we're going to have the different color schemes. Now the different color schemes are going to apply to different parts of your website. So let's just go ahead and choose the first one really fast. And as far as the background, let's go ahead and change it. Let's run back to our color palette generator, and I'm going to do the cool gray. So I'm going to take this hex code down here. As you can see, it starts with a hashtag. It's not really a hashtag, it's a £, but you know, new generation, it's a hashtag now. So the hashtag right here, let's go ahead and take that hex code, and then let's paste it in here. Then if you click away, you're going to see that it changed the color of the entire thing. So now what I'm going to want to do is to change the announcement bar. I'm going to leave everything else the same because I like how it looks. I like how it's cohesive. I've done this before. And for this, I'm going to go back to Canva and I'm going to try the nude. So let's take this hex code over here. And now what I need to find out is the announcement bar. What color scheme is it using? So I'm going to click on it, and then over here on the right hand side, I can see that it's still under color scheme 1, but it's going to apply the same background for everything. So what I want to do here is simply change it to the scheme number 2. Now for this, what I'm going to do is go back to my theme settings, go back 1, and then under scheme 2, check out the background, and then change this one. So now you can see that it did change the color. So now it's got this little olive green in the background, and then it has the nude on top. So far it's looking pretty punk rockish. It's looking pretty good. But now what we need to do is change the text because I can't really read this. So we want to make this white. This is going to be the best way to put it because it's really going to stand out against the dark background. Now for this, I'm going to do the same thing. Go back to my theme settings, and I'm going to go to scheme number 1 because that's going to be the default scheme. And then under text, I'm going to go ahead and change it to white. So now all of my text is white. And of course it stands out a lot more. You can see everything clearly. So now let's check out our image text in the middle and let's see if we could change it. So as far as the heading, let's do something punkish. So sup dude. Then under it, we can go ahead and change the subheading to looking for cool stuff. And then the button label, we can go ahead and change that to shop our punk collection. So far, I think it's starting to look pretty good, but I'm not a huge fan of this nude. So I'm going to change this because I'm going to change it back to the original thing that I had thought in mind, which is going to be more of an orange tone, but kind of like a darkish orange. And then the background, honestly, I'm not feeling that background either. So I'm just going to go ahead and change this as well. And I'm going to make it more of a flat black, something like that. That looks pretty good, actually. I like this a lot more now. Now, of course, we can't just keep my store as the logo. We need to change this. We need to do something good. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to 𝐀𝐮, which if you've seen any of the past videos, I always use 𝐀𝐮. I swear by it. And honestly, it works amazingly. It has an awesome text to image generator that you can take advantage of. And for this, I'm just going to go to the AI section. And then under 𝐀𝐮 AI, I'm going to choose the image generator. And I'm going to describe my logo. Now I'm thinking of maybe a hand throwing up the punk rock sign. So let's go ahead and do that. Wearing a spike bracelet with the text punk rock central. Now the next thing I need to do is choose my image style. If I do anything up here, it's going to give me a big block image. It's going to be a square with the design inside. I don't want that. I want clip art. So I want something like this. Now there's a few different styles to choose from. The one that's going to fit what we're going for now is really going to be more than anything the t-shirt graphic. So let's go ahead and do that and then generate. And this is what I came up with. Now, as we all know, when it comes to AI, text is a little wonky sometimes. And this one had an extra finger. So let's go ahead and generate one more. I'm going to do the detailed drawing this time. And this actually looks pretty good. I like it. I dig it. So let me go ahead and make this a little bit bigger. I'm going to remove the background. By the way, if you do want to remove the background, this is a pro feature that you're going to have to use. And also to download high quality images for things like print on demand, you are going to need to pay for the pro subscription. Now, this isn't only going to be with 𝐀𝐮. Pretty much any image generation software, you are going to have to pay for the pro subscription or for the paid subscription if you want to download high quality images. That goes for Canva as well. I don't like Canva that much. I prefer 𝐀𝐮, but at the end of the day, it's user preference. Go with which one you like the best, but just keep in mind that for high quality images, for higher quality images, you are going to need to go with a pro plan. So after that, I'm going to click on the AI background remover, and the background was completely removed. If you see that checkerboard pattern in the back, that means there is nothing there. Now, this text is really cool. It actually reminds me a lot of Guitar Hero. So let's go ahead and download this. I'm going to click on download. My resolution, I'm going to do 300. That's always going to be the best to go with. But again, you are going to need a pro subscription for that. Inches, I don't need this to be that big. I'm just going to do 5 because this is going to be just for the logo, and download. So now we can go back to our Shopify store, and up here we can click on our header, and then here where it says edit your logo in the theme settings, this is the easiest way for me to get to it. So I just click on that, and then on the left hand side we can go ahead and upload our logo. So select an image and let's upload the one that we just downloaded, or the one that we just created. Click on done, and there we have our punk rock store. I really like that logo. It's actually really cool. Now we can make this bigger. All we have to do is over here where it shows the desktop logo width, just increase it a little bit and it'll get bigger. Now this is a little bit too big. A lot of the times what you want to do with these types of logos is if it has text, don't really worry about it too much because it's going to be small either way. So unless you're going to have the logo anywhere else on your page or any bigger anywhere else, then really don't worry about the text. So I'm going to put this a little bit smaller, take it back down to 100. That looks good there. Now, one thing that we can do that I'm thinking about as I'm looking at this to be able to make our text stand out a little bit is to actually make the background image a bit darker. So let's click on our slideshow, and then down here where it shows image overlay opacity, just go ahead and increase it to about 40%. So you can still clearly see the background, but now you can really actually read the text. So our store so far is actually looking pretty good, but there's a few more things that we can do to really make it look better. Now, if you keep scrolling, everything is black, so it's too dark for me. The only pop of color we have is this up here. Now, I don't want to add too much color, but where we can add it is going to be more towards the bottom. So if we look here where it says subscribe to our emails, we can go ahead and change the footer color. So let's see what it looks like this way. So this is going to be under the scheme 1. Let's go ahead and edit that. And what we want to do is actually change it to scheme 2. So let's see how that looks. So this looks all right. It's not really my cup of tea, so I'm going to change this back to scheme 1. And then I'm going to add another section, which is going to be the email sign up. Now, the one that's on the footer, I can go ahead and remove this by simply unchecking it over here where it shows show email sign up, and then get rid of that. And now I can go ahead and change it for this one. So let's go ahead and make this one scheme 2. And I think that looks a little bit better. It has just this one little pop of color, and then we have the black on the bottom. Now the text could look a little bit better. It could be a bit bigger. So let's go ahead and change the font. And for this, again, we're going to go to theme settings. And then down here under typography, we can go ahead and change our font and the size of the fonts as well. So I'm going to change this, and I'm going to look for something that's a bit more bold, something that can really, I guess, make more of a statement. So let's look through here. Let's see what we can find. This Bevan looks pretty good. I like it for this down here, but I don't like it for the text. So let's see what else there is. Okay, so I'm actually kind of digging this one right here. 𝐏𝐫𝐢𝐚𝐥, I really have no idea how that's pronounced. But so far, this one actually looks really good. So I'm going to go ahead and select it. And then I'm going to go back to it. So I'm going to change it again, just so I can see a few more things to preview it. But I really do like this one. Let's just check one more. Oswald. Actually, I kind of like this one too. So it was in between the Oswald and the 𝐏𝐫𝐢𝐚𝐥, or however you pronounce it. 𝐏𝐏𝐢𝐚𝐥. So we're going to stick to that one. So we can go ahead and cancel this. No changes will be made. Now the text looks a lot better, a lot more legible, and really it just fits better with the theme. Now there's one more thing that's very important that you need to know, which is going to be the footer and adding the different links to your policy pages. Now, by default, whenever you create your policy pages, it should show up down here. And the same goes for any payment providers that you accept. So whenever you set up your Shopify payments, all of the different credit card processors will show up down here. Visa, MasterCard, Amex, whatever you choose to accept. And then when you create your policy pages, such as your return policy, your shipping policy, or your About Us section, or any of that stuff, it's all going to automatically appear here as well. Now, if you want to change that, if you don't want it to show up, click on your footer. And then over here on the right-hand side, you can go ahead and scroll down and then change all of the different settings down here. If you don't want your social media icons to show up, you can go ahead and uncheck it through here. Obviously right now it's not showing because we haven't done that on our Shopify store, but the same thing is going to go for the payment icons. So if you uncheck that, you can see that PayPal and Venmo just disappeared. Check it again, it comes back. Show policy links. Once we have our policies set up, then again, they'll show up down here. We can remove them by simply unchecking this over here as well. Now, really, to get you started and to get a converting Shopify store, this is really all you have to do. As you can see, it's very simple to set up, and we did it in just under, 10-15 minutes? Now, I know if you're a beginner at this, or if this is the first time that you're doing this, it might take you a little bit longer, especially if you're going to be playing around with the different color palette generators and all that stuff, looking for new images, changing around the different sections, trying out a banner versus a slideshow. These are all things that you're going to have to play around with to get comfortable with and ultimately just learn. Because really, unless you get down and dirty and start just poking around and breaking things, then you're never going to learn. Breaking things is a part of the process. It's okay. Anything that you do can always be reversed. Now, if you want a quicker way of doing this, then the next thing that you need to do is simply implement AI into your Shopify store design. Now we have an entire video on that. If you want to check that out, it's going to be this one right here. In it, I explain to you how you can get your store set up in less than 2 minutes. And within those 2 minutes, you're also going to have your policy pages set up, your About Us section, the different colors, and everything is going to be appropriate based on the niche that you choose. So again, if you want to check that out, I highly suggest you do. It can really help you get started with testing out various niches. Or if you want to just jump straight into the action, it works for that as well. So again, that's pretty much everything that you need to know on your Shopify store design and how you can get started creating a converting one. What did you think of today's video? Let me know down in the comments below. Also, in the description, there's going to be a link to a relevant blog article if you want to read up a bit more on this topic. Huge thank you to everyone for watching, especially if you made it all the way to the end. As always, it truly means the world to me. Please make sure you like and subscribe if you found value in this video. And with that, my name is Mario with AutoDS, and I'll catch you all next time.